right, this is Chris Ciccanelli. Welcome to Hit High Intensity Tactics for Growth. And today we're talking about the biggest buzzword in the news today. And no, that is not Donald Trump. It is the millennials. That's what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the millennials, and it is unbelievable how much press and how much talk and how much everything now that there are 72 million millennials that are out there. Now, I'm not a type of person that is going to put people into different, classes, different, I hate when they do that stuff. I hate when they, Gen X's and baby boomers and Gen Z's and all this other stuff that's out there. And I don't like to put classifications because I really do believe that there are millennials that are out there that are working their asses off, that are putting their time in, that are growing businesses, that are doing the things that they need to be doing because let's face it, they're committed. They want this better lifestyle. They want more out of the life that they're living right now. They don't want to live paycheck to paycheck. They're the ones that see through the things that are going on in the world. And they're the ones that are listening to freaking podcasts, reading books, and they're the ones that are staying committed to not just the education that they got from college, but the life education that they get when they go to freaking work and they put their time in. So I'm not a person that wants to sit back and classify or put that, but it is a huge buzzword right now. And it's something that when people sit back and go, what is your biggest fear around the millennials? What are the things that you're seeing, Chris? And this is what I saw that really struck a chord with me. I'm walking through the airport and I'm sitting there, and a guy on Wall Street Journal was sitting on the little table. It was early in the morning. The guy left it and it said, "Millennials, are you in crisis?" Oh my gosh, when I saw that, I had to pick up and read, and I said, okay, whoa, what is that? Wall Street Journal writing that? That's one of the front page pieces here. And it went into this whole concept that the millennials are going to make 40% less than any generation before them. Now, you could sit back and say, what's the reasoning behind why will they make it? Is there less money out there to make? Is there less opportunity? No, we talked about that in one of the podcasts prior to this. Money's machine made, opportunity's man made, right? We have the ability to go out and make whatever opportunity that we want in life. So it's not that they don't have the opportunity to make more money. It's that money is just not a big driver. It's not a big thing for them. It's that it's purpose, it's culture, it's making sure recognition. All of those pieces are well above money, but everybody keeps going, well, why are they going to make 40% less? Well, it's because right now a social life, friends, all that kind of stuff is way more important. I mean, when you sit back and ask a millennial today, what's the most important thing? It's to go see other things. Like I will get in conversations with my friends, and my friends never ask, me being 44, they've never asked me about, where I travel or where I go. They're always like, hey, what kind of restaurant you go to? Or they're asking, what sporting event did you end up going to? When I get done with a millennial conversation, the first thing is like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go travel to those locations. I can't wait to go to South Africa. I can't wait to go to Australia. Man, New Zealand looks so great online. I hear that all the time. My buddies would in their mind, I'm never going to New Zealand. I'm never going to Australia. It's just it's not what I want to do. It's like, I'd rather go see what's going on in the Yankees or go see what's going on with the Atlanta Braves or whatever. I mean, for my kid to sit back and say to me, Dad, for this Christmas, can we go to Greece? What? I can't ever think about asking my mother, hey, Mom, can we go to Greece, for Christmas? This is this mindset and this understanding of travel and people wanting to go do this. You see them on Instagram all the time. Like, it's amazing when I look at my friends versus some of my younger friends that I'm watching on Facebook of what really gets them going. So we have to understand that trips motivate them. Travel motivates them. Being able to go different places motivate them. And that's the cool thing if you're a pure romance consultant that's listening to this business, one of the biggest things that I would be able to say is like, look, you could use this business to put money towards your travel fund because you're not making it in your JOB. Your JOB is just over broke, right? So you could sit back and say, you could use this business to be able to go out there and fund this, or you have an awesome opportunity because your business is mobile, so you could take it anywhere you want to go. So you could be selling products anywhere you want to go. If you're not a pure romance consultant, you're listening to this and you're saying, well, okay, what about me? Well, same thing. If they get a side hustle, or if you're an entrepreneur that's out there trying to build a secondary business, this is going to give you that business, that opportunity to go out there and have a secondary income coming in that is able to fund some of these travel. Now you're sitting there going, well, Chris, I'm not a millennial. I'm 40 or I'm 50 years old. How do what is it for me? I'm like, look, same thing. You're probably going to have to build a sales force. You're going to have to build a team. You're going to have to build people around you. So you have to understand that the culture in which you create, then it's the purpose that is also going to drive them as well. So if you're sitting back there and going, well, my business isn't as sexy, it's not as fun, it's not as lucrative, it's not as whatever, but what is your culture? So a lot of people will join because not only do they want to go out there and travel, but they also want to feel a part of something. They want to feel that they're leaving this world in a better place. So you have to sit back and say, what is your kind of mission? What is your values of your organization? How are you guys doing community work together? How are you guys serving other people? What is it that you're doing that can change the world? Because that's exactly how this group thinks. Now, the other thing too that we have to think about is this millennial group that they keep going to in this article. Not only are they going to have 40% less than any other generation, they're also going to have less property than any other generation. They're going to own less. The millennials are high, users of multifamily types of businesses, like meaning that they live in apartments, they live in condos. That's their mentality. That's the MO. They don't want to be have a schedule where at 5 o'clock that they're going to come home and sit at the table and cook. Why do you see now when they're building out some of these condos and some of these apartments? I mean, there's not a lot of cabinets, man. They have one or two, and because look, you think they're cooking? No, they're not cooking. They're going out every night. So if I'm a business right now and you have millennials work, what about doing some things where you give them gift cards to be able to go out to, a restaurant or a local place? How do you incentivize them? How do you recognize them? How do you motivate them? Is, if you're giving them a check or you're giving them that kind of stuff, it's just going to go into their account. They're going to Venmo it away to somebody else. But if you give them a nice little gift card to, the Mortons or the Ruth Chris, or hell, if you give them to some trendy new upcoming restaurant, that's the stuff to be able to get these folks to kind of get motivated to go out there and run. And again, if you're listening to this and you're a pure, it's the same thing. Same thing. How do you make experiences for people? That's what they're really looking for, is that experience-driven pay is huge in today's world. The other thing too, not only that, but the other thing that in this article that was talking about is also the amount of money that they'll have when they retire. That's what's the scary piece. If you really get technical, making 40% less than any other generation, and then ultimately owning less property than any other generation. So they've not accumulated any wealth. They have not accumulated any any stocks, any assets around themselves. 401ks are going to be lower than. This is the thing that we have to make sure. If you're listening to this and you're a millennial right now, you have the world by the absolute ass. If you work above average, just above average, not even like leaps and bounds, just a step above average, you will beat everybody. And if you're mindful of making sure that you put money away right now in this time frame, and you're sitting there and saying, well, what does that mean? If you're 25 and by the time you retire at the age of 65, and every flipping month you put $150 away, you should have about $200,000 that's put away in your account by the time you go and you retire, the time that you're going to need it. If you're sitting there and you're a millennial and saying, well, what else does that mean for me? That means the opportunity that's in front of you. I did not say that there was less opportunity for millennials. It's the millennials that want it. And that's what we have to do as leaders that are leading millennials. The opportunity in front of them has got to be put out there every flipping day. And it's got to be reassured and reaffirmed each and every day. So it is that we're talking to people about making sure that they put their money away, that they're saving for the rainy days, that they're thinking about a long-term strategy, not just today's strategy, not next week's strategy or next month because I'm going to go to Mykonos Islands. Not those are not strategies. Those are fun things, but those are not life strategies. But sometimes when I talk to some of these kids, it's the same thing. It's like, hey, you know what? That my strategy for this month is, we're gonna go and we want to go RV in Yellowstone. I'm like, for how long? Like a month. A month? Who does that? I mean, and realistically, well, you can run your business from the internet. No, yeah, that sounds really good. It sounds awesome. But you know what? Can I tell you something? I find more of those people robbing Peter to pay Paul. That's why I don't look at anything that's happening on those pieces, because I know true data. I know what it is. And so the understanding is we've got to be mindful of this. Again, there's 72 million American millennials right now that are in their 30s, right? This generation is surpassing the baby boomers. The new data shows that they will never catch up with any other generation that kind of precedes them in any of the household incomes. The household incomes are going to be lower than any other one that they've ever had. Yes, they have more college, education, all of these things that are out there. So my thought process is this. My thought process is, if you're a millennial out there and you're sitting there and you're listening to this, I'm not worried about you, because you're going to be a 1%er. You're going to be the people that are going to go out there and drive your businesses. Now, how do you motivate the other millennials? Just what I said. Make sure you have a purpose. Make sure you have a message. Make sure that you understand that you're out there to kind of make this place a better place. The other thing too is recognize the crap out of them. Make sure you recognize them. And then the other thing, the last and final thing is understand that, that you're going to have to have more people working for you, having more people driving business, because the days of having one person doing $10,000 in your team or selling $100,000 in your team are probably going to look like this. It's probably going to be 4 or 5 people that's going to have to generate that business, because work-life balance is very, very important. I will tell you, most of them like the balance more than they like the work. But at the end of the day, you get to go out there and build your business. You get to go out there and run. So don't let the whole thing of I'm a millennial, I'm a Gen X affect your business. You go out there and work it. You live life by design each and every day. Remember, you've had the pen. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. I want to make sure to keep this podcast moving in iTunes, making sure that we continue to move up. And I appreciate all the feedback. Hit us up at HIT. Make sure you let us know if you have anything that's going on, any other topics that you want to cover is important to me. Remember, live life by design, not by default. Rate, review, and subscribe. See you all later.